Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Terribly sorry for the long rain delay that we've had. It's really played havoc with our plans. But having said that, and apologize and getting that out of the way now, we are very happy at the Drama School Mumbai, a series of events that happen here at the Mumbai Marathi Sahitya Sangh in Purandare Hall on the 5th floor, to once again tie up with, for our third time, with eNatyaChaupal, which is brought to you by Mumbai Theatre Guide and Astitva. To share learnings that we have about Theatrewallahs that have come about during the creation of our program and our course. In particular, the three presentations you're about to see, which is basically Sitaram Kumbhar, or otherwise Sitaram Mamu, known as Sitaram Mama, known as by most people, Paresh Daru, hello sir, and Lokshahir Sambhaji Bhagat. These are presentations made by ex-students or our recent graduates from the Drama School Mumbai, who under the guidance of Ramu Ramanathan come and spend one semester researching a particular living theatre practitioner and getting perspectives on that person from other Theatrewallahs and other people and their own research, and of course direct interviews. And they go through a process and a technique. And all the students do this, and these are some of our finer projects that we're very happy to show to all of you and share with the world. The main thing for us at the drama school is that we are here trying, as we say in our catchline, to forge the next generation of theatre makers. And I think a very important part of that, especially with all of us in our contemporary, young, we think we know it all kind of way, it's a bit silly, because there's a huge amount of living history amidst us here in Mumbai. I mean, we live and we work at the Mumbai Marathi Sahitya Sangh, which has its own amazing history. And I think it's important for our students and our own faculty, who are all a bit young, to learn and to stay in touch with the Theatrewallahs who came before us, with the theatre makers who came before us, and with those generations of theatre people, because I think we have a lot to learn from them and we don't do it enough. So this is our first humble attempt at this. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Roshan Matthew, and he will be presenting on Sitaram Mama.
Good evening, everybody. Mama, namaste. It's on. Towards the end of our first 6 months of drama school, we started working on our annual production called The Dragon, and the play opened downstairs in the MMS's auditorium. So we had our first 5 shows of Dragon down there, and in the play, about 5 to 8 minutes into the play, I make an entry from the audience side. So after our warm-ups and after Angikam, I'd have to go down every day to this technical sound and lights room where Suhas Dada used to sit, and I'd spend about 10-15 minutes with him, waiting for the play to start and waiting for my cue to enter. On one particular day when I was sitting there, someone from MMS's walked in and they started talking. This person started talking to Suhas Dada quite loudly about something which I did not have anything to do with. And I was sitting there, I had my eyes closed, I was trying to do everything right before the show. And Suhas Dada turned around, looked at me and he said, "Yaar, yahan pe actor baitha hai, bahar jaake baat karte hain." Another day when I was sitting there after my warm-ups, I walked into this particular room and I switched off the fan because I did not want to cool down. And I was sitting on that chair. And then Suhas Dada walked in later and again someone else came in. I do not know who that person was. And he switched on the fan because it was pretty hot and everybody was sweating profusely. And Suhas Dada said, "Yaar, fan band kar le, actor baitha hai." So I was amazed by the amount of respect that this man had for theatre and for everyone, for someone like me who was just 20, 21 years old at that point of time. And I just started doing this, and he's been doing this for years. So later when Ramu sir came and he said we have to do this research project on Theatrewallahs who are still living, I said I want to work on someone who does not really step on stage but has been doing this for a really long time. That's when Sitaram Mama's name came up. The first time I met him at Mahim Municipal School, which is Avishkar Theatre's home right now, he told me a lot of stories, a lot. There was just so much that he had to tell that there was no way that I could write it down So I switched on my phone recorder. I sat down. I had about 17 cups of chai with him, and we spoke for 3 or 4 hours. Inshallah, play from Avishkar at that point of time was being rehearsed in the other room. So I asked Mama. One of the first things that I asked him was, "Why are you sitting outside when rehearsals are happening? Why are you not inside?" So he said, "मैं rehearsal वैसे देखता नहीं हूँ. कभी-कभी जाता हूँ अंदर. अगर काम अच्छा नहीं है तो बाहर आ जाता हूँ." So then I asked him, "Don't you have things to do like moving sets and props and helping those actors out with, general stuff?" And he said, "नहीं, आविष्कार पे मैंने तो रूल बनाया कि हर एक्टर अपना props लेके जाएगा, सेट वही लगाएंगे और रिहर्सल के बाद वही डिसमेंटल करके वापस आके रख देंगे." So I was like, "Wow, this is pretty awesome because this is what DSM was teaching us to do right from day one. We walk in, we clean our own space, we move our own stuff. We don't really need anyone to help us with things." So one story after another, Mama continued to amaze me, and that's when the story of the Ghanta came in. One of the most interesting things that he told me. So I decided to make that my first story in this photo essay, which is a collection of stories that Mama was kind enough to share with me. भारत में मेरे जैसा घंटा और कोई नहीं बजाता. That's what Mama told me. So I went to Rabindra Natya Mandir on this particular day when Inshallah was being staged. And I waited backstage to watch Mama bajao his famous ghanti. So about 10 minutes before the show, I saw that the audience were ready to enter. The stage was set. The actors were all in costume. And they all came. They stood around Mama in a semicircle. And he took out this small ghanta, which had a lot of different ribbons of different colors tied around it. And he held it. And the way that he rang that bell was pretty much like a ritual. Everybody stood around him, all the actors, their hands in front, their eyes shut, their heads bowed down. And Mama just kept going. Like he had his feet wide apart and he held his ghanta and he just kept swinging wildly and it was magical sound. It was so loud, it was so energizing. I felt like I was ready to perform. So I asked him about this particular story, and he told me that in 1970, when he was working with Kala Vaibhav Theatre Group, he went to Aurangabad to stage one of Sitaram Kumbhar's plays. He was helping out with the set, and he was asked to ring the bell for the first time in life. So he stood behind the curtain, and he rang the bell. And he went backstage. He continued with whatever he had to do. In about 2 minutes, Sitaram Kumbhar came backstage, and he asked, "Ghanta kisne bajaya tha?" And Mama said, "मैंने बजाया." So Sitaram Kumbhar sir said, "Second bell का जब time होगा तो मुझे बुलाना, मैं सिखाऊंगा घंटा कैसे बजाना है." So he came when it was time for second bell, and he showed Mama how to ring the bell for a play. And this is something that I cannot really demonstrate by myself. So Mama, अगर आप मुझे दिखा सकते हैं कि आप घंटा कैसे बजाते हैं, नीचे से एक मैं लेके आया हूँ. ये बहुत भारी है, पता है. Thank you. If you scroll down on this PDF, you will see a picture of the ghanta that Mama uses. It's there somewhere. I don't know where I placed it. So I asked him why he had those ribbons around the ghanta, and he said it looks nice. And the first time I saw him ring the bell is when I realized that when he does it, so it's much faster and much more powerful because that ghanta is way lighter than this one. These ribbons are just like flying all around, almost in like rainbow colors. And you can see that each swing is perfect. It ends exactly at the same point. And it's just beautiful to watch. So that's the story of the ghanta. The next story I've written about him is titled Keeper of Keys and Maker of Rules. So I asked Mama the first time I met him what exactly his job description was at Avishkar. because in all the preliminary research that I did about him, in all the discussions that I had with Ramu sir, no one was really able to put a finger on exactly what it is that Sitaram Mama does. So he says that right from day one till now, मैं अभी तक सामान का काम ही करता हूँ, सामान उठाता हूँ, लगाता हूँ, शो के बाद सामान वापस लेके रखता हूँ. But in fact, if you spend a day or two at the Avishkar space, which is a Mahim Municipal School, you'll see that every day Sitaram Mama is the first one to reach. He's the one to open all the closed doors. He's the one who makes rules at Avishkar. He decides how the company functions. And people who are part of the company now, be it actors who are part of it only for a production or two, or be it directors who are working with the company, they have immense amounts of respect for these rules that he makes and for him. So at Avishkar, a theatre company that does about 20 shows odd a month, every actor takes back his or her own costume after each show. They wash it themselves, they iron it, and they bring it for show the next day. The thing about sets and props I've already discussed with you. They know exactly what they have to do. They know they're not going to get any help from anyone who works for the company. It's just that Mama has made these rules about how the company works, and you have to abide by them. The only rule that he's set for himself is that he's always going to be the one who reaches first and leaves last with the keys. The next story about Sitaram Mama is about set building. So set building in Mama is what I've titled it. The first set that Mama ever built was for this play called Changana. That was in 1975. It was directed by Jaidev Hatangari. It was a play for Avishkar itself. From 1975 till today, Mama still assembles all the sets for Avishkar. He doesn't build them anymore. They get people from outside to build it according to a design that's made. But right from 1975 till today, Mama does not really know anything about set design. What he does is he looks at a picture that's been made or a stage plan that's been created by a set designer, and he does all the cutting and the hammering and the nailing and the fixing, and bam, a set is ready. And he makes it all in a way that it can be dismantled in about 2 or 3 minutes after the show is done. So if you're there when one of Avishkar's shows are happening at Ravindra Natya Mandir or whichever other venue, it takes about 1.5 to 2 hours for him to set up the set, and it takes him 2 or 3 minutes to dismantle the whole thing. So he showed me this trick that he has crafted over the years. He puts these wooden planks together. They all have hinges in them, and instead of putting a screw through the hinge, he has nails that he always carries with him, which are bent almost at a hairpin angle. So he just hooks these wooden planks together with the nail. He never nails any set onto the stage. He never uses tape. He never uses any kind of adhesive. But the set stays, and people climb on it, people jump around it, they hang on it, nothing happens. It doesn't move until he wants it to move. It's pretty amazing. So that brought me to his toolbox. The Gandhi Pishwi story is right at the end because it was just too fabulous to put right in between. But so I asked Mama what kind of things he carries in his toolbox, which was something that Ramu sir suggested. I asked him what would be things that you would like to know about Mama. If you met him, what would you talk about? So Ramu sir said, I'd like to have a look at his toolbox. I'd like to see what he carries, whether it's like screwdrivers and nuts and bolts, or if it's just like cigarettes and matches. I want to see it. So I asked him about his toolbox. I asked him if I could have a look inside. And he said, I don't have a toolbox. He got up, he left that cup of chai right next to me, and he went inside. So I didn't know if that was the end of the conversation or not. He came out holding this really dirty theli. So he said, I don't carry a toolbox. It's this pishwi that I carry. And inside this, he emptied it in front of me. A lot of things came out. There were agarbattis, there were screws, nuts, bolts, nails of all sizes, hammers, tapes, fabric glue, a smaller Gandhi Pishwi inside it. So he told me that if you keep all of this stuff that's really important to him, stuff that he carries with him 24/7, if you keep it all in a good-looking toolbox or like a really clean packet, someone's going to like nick it. So he said, if you keep it in a Gandhi Pishwi, no one's going to steal that from me. So I always carry it in a Gandhi Pishwi. And I carry a smaller Gandhi Pishwi inside my Gandhi Pishwi, which has stuff that I need for this particular show. And the bigger one has everything in the world. And something that he always carries on himself is a measuring tape. Although he says that he doesn't need the tape anymore. So you put him on any stage, anywhere. He can just look at the stage, look at his set and judge what the dimensions are, where everything needs to go. I asked him why he carries the tape. And he said, "Kisi aur ko zarurat pade to." Sorry. there's this chapter in here called The New Beginning, which comes right after Migrant Mama, I think. Migrant Mama is a little story written about how Mama came to Bombay, what his life was like before it. He said he stayed 400 rupees away from Bombay. When he was 19 years old, he comes from a community of potters, pot makers. Um, he did not want to do that for life. When he was a kid, the focus wasn't really on education, it was on earning as much money as possible. He came from a family where he had a lot of nieces and like younger siblings who needed a lot of financial help from him or anyone else who was elder to them. So at 19, he contacted a friend of his who had a sugarcane stall, I think behind the High Court in Colaba. So he came there, he started working at this sugarcane stall, which was in 1969. In 1970, he decided to try and get a job in one of these mills, which were huge in Bombay at that point of time. So he figured, hey, that's, you know, like something that would give me a regular income. So that would really help. He was staying at a chawl somewhere, he was staying at a Koli in Savory, I remember. Then he found out that it takes you 2,000 rupees to learn how to work the mill and the mill equipment. He did not have that kind of money with him at that point of time. So he got in touch with a couple of friends of this sugarcane stall guy, and he got for himself a 4 feet by 6 feet cart. And then he found a dealer at Baikala to give him dry fruits and almonds and like raisins and all of that, like, well, dry fruits basically. So he'd get the supply of dry fruits and he'd push this cart around and he'd sell it. Every day he'd make a profit of about 10 to 12 rupees is what he told me. He did this for 5 years. Somewhere in 1970, Shantaram Vichare sir got him into theatre. He said there's a lot of work for someone who's able-bodied, and at that point he was really strong. He said, मेरा जो 4x6 का कार्ट था, मैं अगर ऐसा लात मारता तो वो कार्ट ऐसे आ जाता. So he was really strong. So he went for one of Kala Vaibhav Theatre's plays, and that was at Ravindra Natya Mandir. On this particular day, he was asked to just stand there and observe what happens. So he observed all the loading, the unloading, how they actually take the stuff up, what it entails, where do you have to hold it, how do you have to carry it. He learned all of that. And then for the next show in Pune, along with 2 other people, he helped them load and unload their stuff. He worked with Kala Vaibhav for another 3 years after that. The 3 of them used to get paid 15 rupees for loading the set, unloading it, dismantling it, putting it up, and then carrying it all the way wherever they were moving. Whether it's Bombay to Pune or Bombay to Aurangabad, you always had to sit on the stuff. They never got a seat to sit, and they got 3 rupees every day for food. And then in 1974, on one particular day when things were not really going too well at Kala Vaibhav Theatre, the director of the group yelled at Mama, and he abused him. So Mama got really pissed off, and he realized that he wasn't getting paid enough to be insulted at this job. So he said, I'm leaving this job, and he walked out of that theatre that day, and he never went back, but not before he insulted the director back. He said, 2-3 गाली मैंने भी दी. After that, he came, he joined Avishkar. At Avishkar, there was only one person doing the job of these 3 people. 1974, Changana was his first play, as I've already mentioned. So he got the 15 rupees that these 3 people used to get. Dismantling sets, putting it up, that's how he started. From there, he went on to becoming someone who, I think the closest term that we would relate to is stage manager. But he's also a lot of other things. What else? Gandhi Pishri, I think, is the next story that I have, which I have already shared with you. Oh yeah, so all these awards that you see, they're not all for Avishkar. About 10-15 of them are awards that Mama has received. He's been felicitated by the Mumbai Marathi Sahitya Sangh, where we are right now, and a lot of other national level and regional level awards have gone to him. Oh, there, that's a list. The Marathi Sahitya Sangh, Akhil Bharatiya Natya Parishad, Bal Kolatkar, and of course by Avishkar itself. And then he showed me this photo album that he always carries. It's pictures of him that someone else has taken, that he has somehow managed to collect. Pictures of him receiving awards, certificates that he's received from all these institutions. And that day I promised him that when this research project is final and when it's all done, I would get a printout of it in like high quality photo paper and I'd give it to him, which I haven't been able to do yet. But it's got a lot of really beautiful pictures of him. And I promised him today that I'm going to do it in the next week because, yeah, I really want to. And yeah, oh, that's something that you should probably read. And also there's a last slide if you could scroll down. Mama doesn't take any payment from Avishkar now. He does the job because he likes to do the job. He's been living in a small house that he bought for 8,500 bucks with his family. I think his grandson lives with him right now. His daughter lives with him. And every day from, I forget where that house is, I'm so sorry. But every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he's the first one to reach my municipal school. He opens the space up. Every day by around 7:30, 8 o'clock, he's the last one to leave the space. He heads back home. He's happy. He likes working in the theater. And that's it. Thank you.
Mandira Behel will now talk about Paresh Daru. Paresh Daru is a very, very well-known set designer of the Gujarati Rangabhumi. He's had a great partnership with the late Chhel Vaidya, and Mandira Behel will be speaking about him.
Hello, good evening and namaste. So, this journey for me has been so long and so fulfilling that I have to share this with you. So, when we had this research project that we were supposed to do, I was actually happy because I love research. And then with so many sessions of discussion of what do you want to do, what is the kind of person you would want to cover, there was so much of confusion. But then finally Ramu sir said, I think you should cover Paresh sir. And I said, okay. So, lot of research. And, okay, let me just keep it simple. Somebody who loves colors, textures, the whole feel, intensity, and of course, beauty with technical perfection. So, when a play opens up, when the curtains go off, the lights are on, the first thing that we all see is a set. And that set is not only the world for the actors, for the script, but it is the base for the entire play. And a set is very, very important because like Roshan has mentioned, we did Dragon. So the entire concept of a set, where do you enter, where do you exit, the lights, colors, makeup, costume, script, everything is basically based on a set. So now I was actually researching on India's best set designer, I can say so, the duo, Chhel sir and Paresh sir. So a set is, for him, was something what he created himself from the start, from the basic idea to the ultimate pin that you put, or maybe just the last nail that you hammer. The entire journey, which is so long and so strenuous. Planning, replanning, working on it manually, disassembling something and then recreating it again. 10,000 tries. With every rehearsal, with every scene, there's a different set, there's a different idea, there's a different color, a feel, an emotion. So Gujarati theatre, I must say, it's got a lavish set. Like you see in the movies, an actual lavish set with lights and beautiful colors and textures, and it's just another world of itself. So when this project started, we had 3 steps: the primary, secondary, and the last one. So the first step was basic research, where you do your own footwork. You go through the net, you go through books, you go through a lot of notes. Then the second step is where you meet people who's worked with the person, who stays with the person, and ultimately you meet the person himself. So the last step is what I was actually waiting for since day one. Because from the research and meeting so many people, there was we gather, you know, like he used to spend hours and hours on just one play. The kind of effort, the kind of ideation, all because just to get it perfect. Absolutely, there should be no confusion for the actor. There should be absolutely smooth. So the kind of effort that he's put in with Chelsea has been tremendous. When I met his friends, I met Sanjay Goradia sir, I met Manoj Shah sir, Firoz Bhagat sir, and Sanjay Chel sir. They had like n amount of experiences and stories to tell. So what was the basic thing that he did? They worked on something called as getting science behind the stage. I learned about so many stages that they had created, like the circular, the knife, the single stage. There was a stage where there was the revolving stage on the stage. That means the stage is actually revolving, the actors are on it, and they're performing. And the most important thing, that was his introduction to the world of stage and set making, was the revolving stage. That's a tricone revolving stage, triangular stage. That is, he used a basic funda of physics of using the back of a stage and the front of the stage. So both the sides of the stage become a part of a set. So as the scene changes, you just have to literally just swing it around and the stage is set. That was easy, convenient, and a brilliant idea. So within seconds, like you had on the stage, while the play is on, the set would change. The props would be brought in. So it's the kind of flow that you had from one scene to the other just was so magical. Sanjay Goradia sir spent so much time discussing the kind of efforts he did, the kind of ideas he put in. And most importantly, he introduced realism to theatre, which is something that is very new. And it's a brilliant idea, a brilliant concept. So earlier, what used to happen was on the stage, when you had a set, there were paintings done and sketches done, charcoal, different kind of fabrics, but there was never really an object on stage. So he got the idea of actually bringing reality onto stage, bringing reality into drama, yet keeping it as a drama. So he got props in, he got actual life-size paintings, which some of them he actually painted himself. He got literal props, and this got the idea of bounce light, which we use in today's theatre. Apart from all of this, he also got a lot of creativity. So there was a time when like the set did not have certain flowers or certain plants that were not available. So he said, okay, fine, that's not a problem. So what? He just got some broomsticks, he got some paper, cut them neatly, painted them a little, arranged them in beautiful vases, and that's it. You have a vase, you have a flower, which played the role of the important prop for the play. So finally, the last stage was when I actually had to go meet him. I had planned, like I'll ask him so many questions about, set, about design, about color, about everything. And he's from JJ School of Arts. So that got me even more charged up. I landed it there and I asked about him and found out many people who worked with him. So that was one idea I thought I'll ask him. So that's it. The day was set. I reached his house at Juhu. And the first thing I see was this beautifully colored, painted, hand-painted door with abstract art on it. That was the only door that was colored on the entire floor. And that was the first time that, wow, this is so brilliant. I mean, how amazing. You could just stand and stare at that door for 5 minutes or so, which I think I did. So the first meeting before I met Paresh sir was with his wife, Leena Daru. So Leena ma'am has been an eminent costume designer for Bollywood. So the first time when I met her, trust me, she reminded me of my grandmom. And I told her this is the project and this is what we have to do. So we started talking and talking. So there's one incident she told me about, sir. He loves photography. And wow, she said that he had an exhibition on the Himalayas years back. And he spent like a lot of time there documenting pictures and just the entire Himalayas. And he had an exhibition there. Then she also said that his love for photography, for art, for painting was so much that when they got married, her family was going to give him gifts like, what do you want? Maybe some jewelry, maybe some heavy clothes, something. He said, I don't want anything. I just want one camera, which is available only from the US. That's all I want. And that actually happened. So that camera was like his companion for life. And that was one more point where I could connect with him. So coming back today, I had to meet Sir. Okay, I enter his home, and beautiful home. Like it's got all kind of artifacts like bells and lovely wall hangings, and it's so clean and neat with so many plants and awards. And wow, I literally forgot what I had to ask. I was just looking around and just waiting for him. And when Sir came, I had another smile because he reminded me of Professor Dumbledore from Harry Potter. I was like, wow, like finally meeting the person who I've always wanted to meet since the time research started. So we started talking. I introduced myself and introduced the project. Initially, he was a little hesitant, but then once we opened up talking, then there was no bound at all. We discussed everything from photography to painting to how the house was constructed to how the camera is. Then we started discussing about contrast and brightness, which is, he kind of merged photography with set designing at that time. So he told me, we were sitting in the hall, like he was sitting here and I'm sitting in front of him. There were plants behind. So he started talking about photography and I asked him about his Himalayas. He said, tell me one thing, what color is that leaf? So I'm looking, there are 5 kinds of leaves. Which green? He said, no, that's second leaf. I said, light green. He said, that is not light green, that is parrot green. So this was the point where we started discussing about the importance and specificity of color. Like we consider red as red, but there are 10 kinds of red. And that conversation was another, say, half an hour or so. Then we were discussing photography and more of art, more of painting. Then he told me one very important incident, an important thought. He said, for him, set designing is not just designing a set for a play or just putting up something on stage. It means the world to him. It means the script, going into details of that script, going into the details of the actor's character, going into the details of the mood. There's a certain color you use for a certain scene and a certain kind of painting that go with the feel. So he said, कि जब तक सीन का फील नहीं आए वो सेट कामयाब नहीं होता, which was something that stuck to me till today, and I think it will stick forever. The important point of giving importance to detailing, giving importance to small things that mean a lot in the larger picture of things. He told me that there was one event that he was designing a set for. It was a musical event, like a ghazal evening. And there was water being served, food, juices, everything was perfect. But he said there was something incomplete. So I asked him what was incomplete. He said, nahi, there was something incomplete. So what he did was, he got surais. Surai is an instrument, it's a musical instrument which he used as a serving thing for water. So they were serving water in the surais instead of bottles and jars. So he said, I don't want this evening to be just a wah wah wala evening. I want it to be a wah wah wala evening. So people remember that event basically because they were served water in a surai. So that got the feel of the whole ghazal and the Mughlai and all of that. Coming to intricacy, he also said that one of his plays, there was a train to Peshawar. That was the play that he was designing his set for, which had a poster written in Urdu behind the train, and he had a train on the set, as a set on the stage, sorry. He was really not satisfied with that because the whole contemplation was that the board that is put up, it is not Urdu, it is Peshawari. We are supposed to be putting it up in Urdu. And so the whole concept of getting even the writing done, which adds to the entire feel of the play again, was something that adds to his nature and quality of being so specific and intricate. His friends and all his colleagues who worked with him, he said he's a very silent man. He will not talk to you when you go to him. I said, okay, fine. But then it was totally a different thing, because along with, and I must tell you, he served the yummiest chai on this earth. I've never had gulbari chai in my life, and he served that. And over chai, we discussed many more things. He asked me about my career. I asked him about his life, about his, it was like age-old friends just catching up. And I told him, you remind me of my Dadaji. So he just blushed. That's all. So for me, and for, I think, the entire set designing world today, we have to learn what is called as core. The core that we discuss in drama school, that. So a set is not just what a set appears to be. It's the life of a play. And the kind of idea, the effort, the days, the months, the years that go into making one play so perfect has to be respected. And this really was a journey that affected me. Another angle was his friendship with Chel sir. So they were best buddies. They were partners, they were brothers. And Sanjay Chel sir says that he always calls Paresh sir as Mama or Chacha. Basically a brother of my dad. And he says that this friendship is something that lasted throughout the years. No matter who got how many projects, no matter what happened, they were always there for each other. And they never got the work and the relationship in the middle. It was always separate. When they were working, they were working. So sir would do the entire angle of, the lighting, the set, the structure, the creation, the colors. And Chel sir would just fill up and add to it by putting in certain other fillers. So that together they made the perfect set for plays and for movies and for TV serials too. Their friendship is an eternal thing, which is something that taught me too, that no matter what happens, the kind of contacts you make, the kind of people you come in touch with, you should always be with them, no matter what. No money, no economic support, nothing. The whole concept of pure friendship. No competition, no I'm better than you, nothing. It's just support and walking together till the end of the journey. So that was the entire journey for me as a student in drama school. I really thank Ramu sir and the entire drama school for this opportunity. Thank you so
much. Our last, hello. Our last presentation is by Niketan Sharma. He will be talking about Lokshahir Sambhaji Bhagat. The Shahir is no stranger to the drama school Mumbai. He has been here before. He's an activist, he's a poet, and a few years ago he wrote this very thoughtful play called Shivaji Underground in Bhimnagar Mala. Niketan Sharma has profiled him and will share with you his journey with the Shahir.
हेलो जब मैं रोज यहाँ पे आता था ड्रामा स्कूल अपना यारी रोड से, तो जूहू सर्कल पे कट होता था, वहां हमेशा बारिश में ना पानी भरा रहता था। तो एक दिन मैंने आते हुए लगभग एक हफ्ते लगातार देखा कि उस भरे हुए पानी में एक औरत नहा रही थी और कोई कपड़े नहीं थे और ऐसी नहा रही थी। तो ना चाहते हुए भी मैं बार बार उधर देख रहा था, बट मुझे लगा कि अगर वो वहां नहीं नहाएगी तो फिर कहाँ जाएंगी। और रास्ते में फुटपाथ पे इतने बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, इतने लोग रहते हैं, तो हमेशा मेरे सवाल होता था कि इनका क्या, ये कहां से आए कहां से ये लोग, या कहां जाएंगे, करेंगे क्या। सो जब टाइम आया कि यहाँ पे रिसर्च करना था, तो मैंने सर को बताया, रामू सर को, कि मुझे ऐसा कोई चाहिए जो थिएटर एक्टर इनके साथ काम नहीं किया हो, जिन्होंने रूट्स पे जाके या जगह जगह जाके गाँव में जाके उनके साथ काम किया हो, वो क्या सोचते हैं, वो कैसे जीते हैं, उनके बारे में पता किया हो। तो मुझे बताया कि संभाजी भगत है, उन पे आप रिसर्च कीजिए। तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, मैं रेडी हो गया, और मैंने उनके बारे में ऑलरेडी बहुत चीजें दी गई हैं नेट पे, तो मैं जाके पढ़ने लगा। तो मैंने तभी मेल किया वापस कि मेरे को नहीं करना इनके ऊपर, ये तो पॉलिटिक्स इतना है और थिएटर तो कहीं पे है ही नहीं, तो मैं नहीं कर सकता। बट दोबारा मेल आया कि जैसा तुमने बताया था, तो ये बहुत अच्छा स्कोप है आपके लिए, आप करिए इन पे रिसर्च। मैंने एक बार और पढ़ा, बट मेरा अंदर से मन बिल्कुल नहीं माना। मैंने कहा सर नहीं होगा मेरे से, ये नहीं कर सकता मैं इन पे इतना कुछ। पर इनका एक मेल आया वापस, जैसे एक मिलिट्री में एक जवान को जो मिल जाता है ना, या जो जिस तरह से उन्हें बताते हैं, वैसे तो फील हुआ। मैंने कहा चलो एक बार ट्राई करके देखते हैं, नहीं होगा उससे ज्यादा क्या होगा, नहीं होगा तो कॉल्स करने शुरू किए मैंने उन्हें, और एक दिन जाके कॉल मेरा उठ गया। तो मैंने बात किया, मैंने बताया कि ऐसे ड्रामा स्कूल से हूँ, मेरे को रिसर्च करना है और आपसे मिलना है। कह रहे अभी आ सकते हो आधे घंटे में। मैंने कहा ठीक है, मैं आता हूँ। तो ऊपर हम प्ले का रिहर्सल कर रहे थे, मैं बोल के जल्दी से, मेरा एक फ्रेंड है ईशान बैचमेट, उसको लेके मैं भगा और टैक्सी किया, और मुंबई सेंट्रल के पास स्कूल है, वहां पे वो पढ़ाते हैं हिस्ट्री। तो वहां मैं किसी तरह ढूंढते हुए पहुंचा, तो रास्ते में ही पहुंचने वाले थे, टैक्सी वाले ने बोल दिया कि भाई साहब यहाँ उतर जाओ, मेरे को भूख लग रही है, मेरे को जाना है। मैंने कहा ठीक है। तो मैं उतर के ढूंढता ढूंढता अंदर डिपार्टमेंट में पहुंचा, और वहां बैठे हुए थे, और जाते उन्होंने बिठाया मेरे को। मुझे पता नहीं, दिमाग में मैं सोच के चला था वहां जाके पता नहीं कैसे मिलना होगा, 2 लोग और होंगे उससे पहले जो शायद मुझे मिलाएंगे। और वहां पहुंचा एकदम कंफर्टेबल, मैं सोच रहा था पता नहीं कैसे हूँ, बट उन्होंने बिल्कुल ऐसा कर दिया जैसे मैं घर में बैठा हुआ था। और एक इंसिडेंट, वहां जाके उन्होंने चाय ऑर्डर की, और जैसे ही उस काका को बोला कि यार 2 चाय लेके आओ, 2 बड़े लोग आए हैं। मैंने उससे बोला सर कहाँ बड़े लोग, हम तो कह रहे नहीं, इन्हें अगर बोलो ना बड़े लोग आए हैं, तो ऐसे गंदी सी चाय लेके आ जाते। ठीक है। तो उनसे बात की, तो सबसे पहले जो उनका बचपन है जो मुझे बहुत इफेक्ट किया, कि सतारा में, हाँ, सह्याद्री की पहाड़ी, कह रहे वहां पे मैं रहता था, और स्कूल जब जाते थे वो लोग पंचगन हिल स्टेशन में, तो लगभग 4 से 5 किलोमीटर पहाड़ी क्रॉस करके फिर उन्हें जाना पड़ता था। तो मेरे सर्दियों का वक्त होता था और पैसे थे नहीं, खाने को कुछ नहीं था, जो मिलता था खा लेते थे। बट वो पहाड़ियां चढ़ना सर्दियों में जरा बड़ा मुश्किल होता था, और 7:15 का स्कूल था, और 8 बजे पहुंचते थे, और रोज लेट होते थे। और कभी सैटरडे को हाफ पैंट पहनते थे, और जो पीटी वाला टीचर है वो कह रहा फिर मारता था, तो हर सैटरडे कह रहा मैं लेट होता था, और मैं रोज पिटता था, लेकिन उसका कोई सॉल्यूशन नजर नहीं आ रहा था कि क्या करूं। तो कह रहे वहां पे इन्होंने अपना पहला गाना लिखा, जो जब एनुअल फंक्शन होता है तो स्टेज पे इन्होंने उस टीचर के ऊपर गाना बना के और वो सुनाया। ये अगर 8th क्लास आई थिंक, और वहां पे वो गाना सुनाया, तो जो स्टूडेंट जो थे ना, जो बोल नहीं पा रहे थे, सबकी इच्छा तो थी, और वो सारे वहां पे सीटियां ये सब उनके साथ। उसके बाद कह रहे मैंने सुना तो दिया, लेकिन थोड़ी देर प्रिंसिपल का कॉल आया कि बुला के लाओ उस लड़के को। कह रहे मैं डरता डरता अंदर गया, अंदर पहुंचा तो बैठ गया चुपचाप, पता नहीं क्या कहेंगे। कह रहे टीचर आया, मेरे कंधे पे ऐसे करने लगा, वाह वाह बहुत अच्छा गाना लिखा है तुमने, और ऐसे करेंगे सैटरडे से अब स्कूल जो है वो 8 बजे का है, 7:15 कोई नहीं आएगा, 8 बजे आइएगा, और लेट होने की कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आपको टीचर आज के बाद पिटाई नहीं करेगा। तो वो मुझे बात किया कि जब तक बोलेगा नहीं कोई तब तक कुछ होगा नहीं। उसके बाद वहां से पढ़ के 10th के बाद जब इनका कॉलेज में आए, जब बॉम्बे पहली बार शिफ्ट किया, वो एक तरह से इनकी लाइफ में एक चेंज था। उससे पहले ये स्कूल में जब थे पंचगिनी में, तो वहां पे 11th और 12th में ये आरएसएस में थे। इनका एक दोस्त था, उसके पास जाके ये रहे थे, क्योंकि घर से आना रोज लेट हो जाते थे, तो उनके पास आके रहने लगा। तो उनके अंकल तो गैराज चलाते थे, इन्होंने कहा ठीक है मैं गाड़ी ठीक कर लूंगा और बाकी टाइम में पढ़ाई करता रहूंगा, और आरएसएस में भर्ती हो गए। बट उसमें रहने के बाद तेरे, क्योंकि क्या था ना, वो एक दीवार थी और वहां पे एक ही तरह का ज्ञान आ रहा था, आरएसएस। कह रहे मैं इतना उसी में घुल गया ना कि मुझे सिर्फ वही दिखता था, ये सफेद कपड़े, भगाओ इन्हें, भगा दो, मार दो। क्योंकि कह रहा 2 तरफ से 3 तरफ से ज्ञान है, तो आपने सोचे अब सिर्फ ज्ञान आया जा रहा है और भरे जा रहा है। कह रहे वो मैं सोचता था, मैंने कहता कि ये जो मुसलमान है ना, इन्हें भगा दो, ऐसे सोच, कह रहे ऐसे सोचने लग गया था वहां पे। बट जब बॉम्बे आए, अब बॉम्बे में कह रहे मैं एक बस्ता लेके आया, 2 किताबें डाली और आ गया। वहीं उनके गांव के बॉम्बे में वड़ा पाव लगाते थे, तो उनके पास आके रहने लगे और कह रहे ठीक है मैं वड़ा पाव का काम कर लूंगा और तुम्हारे साथ ही रह जाऊंगा। तब उनका रिजल्ट आ गया और रिजल्ट अच्छा आया, तो वड़ा पाव लगाते थे। उन्होंने कहा कि तुम ऐसा क्यों नहीं करते कि आगे पढ़ते क्यों नहीं हो, ये काम तो फिर भी कर लोगे बाद में। तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, तो इन्हें कॉलेज में एडमिशन कराया गया। सॉरी मेरे को उनका नाम अभी ध्यान नहीं आ रहा, बट इनको अम्बेडकर कॉलेज सिद्धार्थ विहार में इन्होंने एडमिशन लिया, जहां पे इनको फ्री में मेस मिला, फ्री में हॉस्टल मिला और फ्री में पढ़ने को मिला। तो जैसे ही वहां पे आए तो इनके लिए देखा कि ये जगह जो है जहां से मैं आया हूं वो एकदम विपरीत है। यहाँ पे सब पोएट, सब पेंटर, और जो जगह है बहुत आर्टिस्टिक कह सकते, बहुत आर्टिस्टिक थी। और पहले साल क्योंकि सब कुछ इंग्लिश में था, पहले साल कह रहे मैं फेल हो गया क्योंकि मुझे अंग्रेजी आती नहीं थी। और दूसरे साल कह रहे इनका एक बैचमेट थे जिन्होंने इन्हें अंग्रेजी पढ़ाई, इन्होंने 3 साल फिर पास किया। और वहां पे अच्छी चीज ये हुई कि इनके साथ जो 2 घटनाएं हुई कि पहला ये, एक दिन कह रहे मैं काम के लिए ऐसे जा रहा था, तो चर्च गेट पे कुछ लोग मिले काले कुर्ते में और कुछ नाटक कर रहे थे। तो मैंने देखा कि ये कौन है, तो कह रहे मैंने देखा कि अरे इनको तो पुलिस पकड़ के ना जीप में डाल दी है। तो मैं किसी एक आदमी ने बोला, पूछा कि ये क्या कर रहे हैं, कह रहे कुछ नहीं, कुछ आवाज उठाना चाहते हैं और पुलिस लेके जा रही है। कह रहे मैंने सोचा यही तो मैं करता हूँ, आवाज तो उठानी है मुझे, तो मैं इनसे जाके बात क्यों नहीं करता। तो वापस से आए जब कॉलेज, कुछ दिन बाद अचानक इन्हें मुलाकात हुई इन्हीं लोगों से। इन्हीं लोगों का कोई पंफलेट बांट रहे थे, तो उन्होंने पूछा कि ये लोग कहाँ मिलेंगे मेरे को। उन्होंने बताया दादर में इनका ऑफिस है और ये वो, वहां जाके आप मिलिए। तो फिर मैं पहुंचा, तो पहुंचते घुसते सब लोग बैठे और मैंने कहा कि मेरे को आपसे जुड़ना है, मेरे को वो करना जो आप कर रहे हैं। तो कहते कि आपको क्या आता है। कह रहे मैं ठहरा गांव का आदमी और तंबाकू खा रहा था और डाला हुआ था मुंह में। मैंने बोल दिया मेरे को गाना भी आता है, लिखना भी आता है, बजाना भी आता है और एक्टिंग भी कर लेता हूं मैं। कह रहे तुम्हें क्या नहीं आता। कह रहे ये सब कुछ आता है। तो कह रहे ठीक है आप एक्टिंग करके दिखाओ। तो कह रहे आप इन्हें बोला गया कि ये जो तंबाकू आप खाते हैं ना, ये तंबाकू खा के दिखाओ। तो वो अपना तंबाकू निकालने लगे, लेकिन कह रहे नहीं तंबाकू मत निकालो, आप तंबाकू खाइए। लेकिन तो कह रहे मैंने 1 घंटे तक तंबाकू खाया लेकिन खा नहीं पाया। तो कह रहे उस दिन मुझे पता लग गया जो असलियत में होता है ना, उसे एक्टिंग में उतारना उतना ही रियल कितना गहरा है। तो कह रहे तब से मेरे लिए एक्टिंग जो है बहुत ही गहरी चीज हो गई थी कि ऐसी आसानी से नहीं आ जाती। और इन्होंने कॉलेज में क्या था कि सब लोग वेस्टर्न, कह रहे मैं बजाता था अपनी डफली और वहां पे सब लोग गिटार और कपड़े उनके जीन्स शर्ट, और मैं वो लहंगा सा गाउटी लहंगा और ऊपर शर्ट सी डाल के आ गया था। तो अब उनके बीच में अपनी बात यह है कि मुझे कहना है वो कैसे कहूं। तो कह रहे हम 5-6 लोग थे, घूमते थे, ना किसी से बोल पाते। तो और लड़कियां थी, कह रहे उनके आगे भी ऐसे करके वह चुपचाप निकल जाते थे, स्मेल आता था हमारा तंबाकू का कपड़ों से। तो एक दिन क्या हुआ, वहां पे जो इन्होंने बाद में संगठन भी बनाया, उसकी शुरुआत ऐसी हुई कि इलेक्शन होने थे जब कॉलेज में, तो कोई मराठी आदमी चाहिए था जो स्पीच दे सके। तो कोई जब सबसे पूछा तो इनको बोला गया कि आप जाके बोलिए। और जब इन्होंने बोला और चुनाव, जो सारी पार्टी थी इनकी पार्टी आई और 3 साल वो पार्टी में थे, वहां पे 3 साल इन्होंने काम किया। फिर उसके बाद और जो एक दो चीजें मेरे को इनकी बहुत असर की कि दो चीजें कहने की, मैंने पूछा आप कब तक करते रहेंगे। मैंने ऐसे सवाल पूछा, ये तो भारत में जो आप करना चाह रहे हैं तो काफी सालों से हो रहा है और आप एक आदमी आया है और आप एक कर लोगे, इसका अंत क्या है? मतलब सब लोग कर रहे हैं, आपसे पहले इतने लोग आए हैं जो यही चीज कर रहे हैं और आप कब तक करोगे? तो कह रहे अरे इस चीज को होने में, या जो अभी हो रहा है कास्टिज्म कह लो, या जो गरीबी है उनको नहीं मिल रहा जो उन्हें चाहिए, ये आदमी ने 3000 या 4000 5000 साल लगे हैं यहां तक पहुंचने में, तो वापस वहां तक पहुंचने में भी 5000 साल तो लगेंगे। तो मैंने कहा 5000 आप तो नहीं रहोगे ना? तो कह रहे जब तक मैं रहूंगा तब तो फिर तो यही करता रहूंगा। तो एक ट्रुथ जो वर्ड होता है ना, वो मैंने यहां से हमेशा बिलीव था उस पर, बट ट्रुथ जो होता है वो मैंने इन्हीं से सीखा कि कह रहे मुझे ना मेरा सत्य पता लग गया था बहुत पहले, जब मैं आया बॉम्बे और मैंने देखा कि अंबेडकर जब इन्होंने पढ़ा, मार्क्सिज्म इन्होंने पढ़ा, कह रहे वो पढ़ने के बाद जो मेरी पिक्चर उससे पहले मैं जिस तरह से सोचता था वो एकदम से विपरीत हो गई। और कह रहे उस दिन मुझे अपना सत्य पता लग गया था कि मुझे क्या करना है। तो जिस दिन अपना सत्य दिख जाए ना सामने, उस दिन समझ लेना तुम्हें पता लग जाएगा कि करना क्या है। क्योंकि कह रहे कि शादी, बच्चे, पैसा, लड़की, वाइफ, ये तो होता ही है। मतलब ये अगर धरती पे आए हैं तो ये तो करना ही है, पर धरती पे आए क्यों हो तुम? ये सवाल कह रहे मैंने खुद से पूछा और मुझे पता लग गया कि मैं क्यों आया हूं यहां पे। और एक और बात जो कि दलित पैंथर जो इन्होंने बताया कि जब इन्होंने पढ़ा तो होता ना कि जैसे मैंने जब इनके बारे में पढ़ा तो कुछ टाइम के लिए मैं उसी तरह से सोचने लग गया था, वैसे ही कुछ करना चाह रहा था। तो इन्होंने जब यहाँ पे आके दलित पैंथर के बारे में पढ़ा कि कुछ लोग हैं इनसे पहले जिन्होंने इस तरह के गाने भी लिखे है, पोएट्री भी लिखी है, बट इनको ऐसा लगता था कि वो एक टाइम था, अभी एक टाइम है। वो एक तरह से सोचते थे, मोटिव उनका वही था कि करना क्या है और किधर लेके जाना है, बट अभी टाइम अलग है। तो उसी चीज को इन्होंने, उन्हीं गानों को, उन्हीं पोएट्री को इन्होंने खुद गाने भी लिखे और उन्हीं पोएट्री, उन्हीं गानों को अपने नए तरीके से लोगों के सामने लेके आए। और हाँ, टीचर इन्होंने जब कॉलेज, अब ये किस्सा जब कॉलेज इन्होंने पूरा किया तो अब इनका बीएड और करने का मन नहीं था, तो लोगों ने बोला कि जैसे गदार जो थे इनके साथ इन्होंने 9 साल काम किया और पूरे इंडिया में, ऑल इंडिया मूवमेंट के टाइम पे पूरे इंडिया में इन्होंने अलग अलग जाके दलितों के साथ खाया, उनके साथ काम किया। उस टाइम इन्हें बोला गया कि आप बम्बई में रहो, हम लोग जाते हैं, आप यहाँ के पढ़ाई भी करो और जो भी काम करना है लोगों के साथ आप यहाँ पे करिए। तो इन्होंने सोचा ठीक है, और ये बीएड के लिए कॉलेज में गए पढ़ने और दाखिला ले लिया। अब क्लास में जब पढ़ने बैठते तो टीचर जो पढ़ाता है ये ऑलरेडी इन्हें आता था, तो टीचर बोलते तो ये कह रहे सर ये तो आता है, ये मेरे को पता है ये सब। तो इन्हें बोल दिया कि ऐसा करो आप 2 साल जो है ना, आप नीचे लाइब्रेरी में आओ, साइन करो और एंट्री करके चले जाया करो, क्योंकि हम जो पढ़ाने वाले हैं वो ऑलरेडी आप लोगों को आता है। और इनका कहना था कि वो जो किताबें वो जो पढ़ा रहे हैं ना, वो एक हंसी पिटी चीज है जो हो चुकी है, उसी को बरकता करवा रहे लोगों को कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ। तो अभी जो चल रहा है उसका क्या, वो क्या होगा? तो हाँ, मैंने पूछा कि अब इतनी लंबी जर्नी है, कौन है जो सबसे ज्यादा जिसको आप, या जिसकी वजह से आप यहाँ पे है अभी? तो मुझे लगा नाम लेंगे अंबेडकर जी का और बहुत बड़े बड़े पोएट का। लिया भट्ट कह रहे कि मोस्टली जब मैं उन लोगों को देखता था ना, कि मैं उन्हें अगर एक रोटी दे रहा हूँ और उनको बच्चा जो बगल में बैठा ना वो हंस देता था, वो मेरे को ताकत देता था। वही कह रहा मेरे लिए सब कुछ है। उनकी एक हंसी के लिए मैं कह रहा मैं तरसता हूँ, जिस दिन वो हंसी मेरे को मिल जाती है मेरा दिन जो है बहुत अच्छा चला जाता है। तो ये चीज की आप पढ़ ही सकते हैं। खैर ये कुछ चीजें जो बड़ा बड़ा मैंने लिख दिया क्योंकि मुझे बहुत इफेक्ट की। और ये प्ले जब मैंने पूछा कि क्योंकि प्ले जब मैंने यहाँ पे सुना इस प्ले के बारे में बहुत चर्चाएं हो रही थी, ऐसा प्ले आया था, ये किया उसने, वो किया, तो मैंने पूछा कि इसका जड़ क्या है, ये शुरू क्यों हुआ प्ले। तो मेरे से कहने लगे जब 92 में दंगे हुए थे ना, तो उस टाइम में मैं घर से निकल रहा था और आसपास में कांच पड़े हुए थे, गंदगी, सब सूखा, और मैं जब चल रहा था तो मेरे सामने 4 लोग, एक आदमी को जिसने व्हाइट कपड़े पहने हुए थे उसे पकड़ा हुआ था चारों तरफ से, दोनों हाथ दोनों पांव, और एक आदमी ने इतना बड़ा पत्थर लिया और उसके सर पे मार दिया। और वहीं कह रहा वो he was dead, और उसका सर कह रहा है मेरे को बस वो सर दिख रहा था जैसे से हिल रहा था। वहीं एक औरत जा रही थी, कह रहे मेरे आगे उसने देखा और उसने वॉमिटिंग कर लिया और मेरा हाथ पकड़ लिया और मेरे साथ चलने लगी। उस दिन के बाद कह रहे मैं 2-3 दिन तक डिप्रेशन में, मैंने कुछ नहीं खाया। मुझे कि ये जब हो रहा है, इतना वायलेंस हो रहा है, इसको कैसे बंद किया जाए। तो इन्होंने पढ़ना शुरू किया कि एग्जैक्टली क्या है, क्यों हुए दंगे, क्या बात क्या है। तब इन्हें लगा कि जो शिवाजी है उनकी जो तस्वीर जो है लोगों के सामने, हिंदू मुसलमान इनके सामने जो रखी गई है ना, वो बहुत अलग है, और वो एक मेन रीजन है जो ये सब लड़ाई और ये करवा रही है। और अगले 8-10 दिन तक कह रहे मैं डिप्रेशन में था, मैंने साइकेट्रिस्ट के पास गया, उनके पास बैठे, बात की, तब जाके ये ठीक हुए हैं। और फिर उस इंसिडेंट के बाद इन्होंने नाटक लिखना शुरू किया। अब ऐसे नाटक है तो लोगों ने भी मना कर दिया काम करने से, कोई काम नहीं कर रहा, तो गांवों में जा जाके वहां लोगों को इकट्ठा किया, 10-20 लोग, सबको इकट्ठा किया, और जो एक्टर नहीं थे उनके साथ काम किया, और फिर बॉम्बे में शो हुए। और ऐसा प्ले है तो ऑब्वियसली नाटक रुका, कई बार रुका, लेकिन बार बार इन्होंने शो करते गए, चलते गए, शो करते गए, चलते गए। जैसे बताया था मैंने कि स्माइल, हाँ मतलब मैं अगर सपने में आऊंगे ना, मेरे ऐसे आते हैं बस। इसमें अच्छी बात यह है कि कोई उम्र नहीं है कि मैं भी इनसे उतना ही कनेक्ट करते हुए, जो दादी खड़ी है ये भी इनसे उतना ही कनेक्ट करती है। क्योंकि एक और इन्होंने चीज बोली जो मैं बताऊंगा कि लोग क्या होते हैं ना, खासकर तुम अभी जो आगे जा रहे हो, तुमने जिंदगी को सीखने में निकल जाते हो कि यार लाइफ कैसी होती है, लाइफ ये, लाइफ वो, ऐसे वैसे। कह रहे जिस दिन मौत को समझ गए ना, उस दिन जिंदगी आसान हो जाएगी तुम्हारी, क्योंकि जिंदगी को जो समझेगा ना वो हमेशा ठोकर खाता रहेगा, क्योंकि मौत तो आने वाली है ना, वो आएगी। उससे पहले जो करना है उसको दिमाग में रख के करो ना, मेरी लाइफ, मुझे ये चाहिए, मैं ऐसे 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 ऐसे। कह वो लोग हमेशा ठोकर खाते, जो उस दिन से मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा, अगर मैं थोड़ा बहुत भी ऐसे तो मेरे टर्न कुछ होता है और वो लाइन दिमाग में बचती है। तो अभी इनसे मैंने डर पूछा इनसे कि आप इतने बड़े हैं लेकिन डरते तो आप भी होंगे, क्या चीज है वो। तो मैं बीमारी से बहुत डरता हूँ। मेरे को लगता है कि मैं अगर बीमार हो गया ना, मैं बिस्तर पे आ जाऊंगा और मैं किसी और के ऊपर आदी हो जाऊंगा। वो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं चाहता कि अभी मैं लोगों के लिए इतना करूं फिर लोग किसी को मेरे लिए करना पड़ेगा, वो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं चाहता। और इनका मनपसंद खाना आपको बता दूं महाराष्ट्रियन है, और भाकरी बहुत पसंद है, जोकीन है, जो इनकी माँ बहुत बनाती थी इनके लिए। तो अभी बस एक पोएट्री मैंने इनके ऊपर कल, क्योंकि मैंने दोबारा से इनको पढ़ा, तो एक पोएट्री मैंने लिखी थी इनके ऊपर, वो एक बार मैं सुना के और एंड करते हैं। डर लगता है जिस दिन रुक गया तो क्या, डर लगता है जिस दिन रुक गया तो क्या, इसलिए चलता रहता हूं, चल इसलिए पाता हूं, चल इसलिए पाता हूं क्योंकि मुझे मेरा सत्य सामने दिखता है। ऐन सीधा खड़ा हुआ है, नंगे पैर, आंखों में एक उबाल सा लेके, तो हर अगले पल मेरे से सवाल पूछता है, आगे क्या, आगे कैसे। उसके जवाब ढूंढने मिलने जरूरी है, क्योंकि जो सवाल है वो यूं ही नहीं है, क्योंकि जो सवाल है वो यूं ही नहीं है। इसलिए मैं सवाल पूछता रहता हूं, चलता रहता हूं, क्योंकि डर लगता है कि रुक गया तो क्या, अभी सत्य है, लेकिन मेरे अलावा कई ऐसे लोग दिखते हैं जो खड़े नहीं हो पा रहे, जो उस उबाल से देख नहीं पा रहे। मैं वो सवाल उनसे पूछवाना चाहता हूं, उनसे जवाब ढूंढवाना चाहता हूं, उन्हें खड़ा करना चाहता हूं, आंखों में उबाल लाना चाहता हूं, चेहरे पर मुरझाहट हटा के हंसी की लपटें दौड़ाना चाहता हूं, ताकि वो अपना सत्य देख सके, सही सवाल पूछ सके, और तब उनके सवाल यूं ही नहीं होंगे और उनके जवाब यूं ही नहीं होंगे। लेकिन अब डर नहीं लगता, क्योंकि अब सिर्फ संभाजी नहीं, कई नाम आ खड़े हैं। किसी एक नाम के कंधे पर हाथ टेकूंगा ना, किसी एक नाम के कंधे पर हाथ टेकूंगा ना, तो कई हाथ सवाल जवाब ढूंढने लग जाएंगे। वो भी अब शायद जिंदगी को सीखने में नहीं, मौत को समझने में जुट जाएंगे। उस दिन सड़क किनारे कोई तरसेगा नहीं, दबे घरों में कोई रात भर सुबकेगा नहीं, कोई बिना पाव के वड़ा खाएगा नहीं, बिना पढ़ाई के बढ़ेगा नहीं, बिना बात के भड़केगा नहीं, अपनी जाति पर शर्माएगा नहीं, अपनी जाति पर रोएगा नहीं। सब होगा, अभी होगा, लेकिन वक्त लगेगा। पर अभी होगा, लेकिन वक्त लगेगा, पर अभी होगा। सर तो अभी 5 मिनट का अंतराल लेंगे, उसके बाद डिस्कशन शुरू होगा। थैंक यू।
निकेतन, आपका ट्रिब्यूट बहुत ही अच्छा था
Thank you.
संभाजी भगत के लिए। अगर वो होते तो आई एम श्योर यू वुड हैव बीन वेरी हैप्पी. Please give us a few minutes to set up for the discussion, and we will begin shortly. One second. We're going to have a short discussion now. I want Kakade Kaka to come, but he was unwilling. Kakade Kaka, please, Yana, you also come. Come. Can we have one more chair? Yes. we are very fortunate that we have the two Theatrewallahs with us. We have Sitaram Kumbhar, Sitaram Mama, and Paresh Daru. Paresh Bhai is here, and they will join us shortly. We had decided that we would have a discussion post the presentations by the students, so that we could talk to these Theatrewallahs, take their time, so that they could share more of their interesting lives with us. How Paresh, right? Sitaram Mama, Yana, please. काकडे काका बोलणार पण तुम्हाला पण थोडं बोलायचं आहे. Get this light right in front of me. Okay. Come here, Kaka. Are we set?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I talk to Paresh Bhai, Sitaram Mama, I have a mic, Kaka, and Kakade Kaka, who's here. Let me give you a brief background to this program today. When Jehan called me and said that the students have done projects on the Theatrewallahs, research projects, and maybe there's some way that we could use the eNatyaChaupal to have the students present these personalities. I said that's a great idea. And then Ramu, who has mentored and guided these students, actually put this thing together. He won't come here. He should be here really talking about this. And we structured this having the students present the personalities. We hope that all three Theatrewallahs would be here today. But unfortunately, Sambhaji has been unable to come. But thank you, Paresh Bhai, for coming. Sitaram Mama, thank you. Aap aaye. I think this is so wonderful. I was listening to the students, and we talk about documentation for the theatre, archiving for the theatre, and just look at this wonderful small effort, that the drama school has initiated, having the students go out and talk to these people, talk to these theatre personalities, finding out what their lives have been, how they matured as artists, the context in which they have framed their art, because all these three people are very, very different people. Sambhaji Bhagat is not here, but I'd like to share a little about him and tell you that he besides being a poet and a writer, his art is framed by his activism. That's the framework, and he has been a part of the Dalit Panther movement. He was influenced by Gadar, and he still continues to be part of what he calls the movement, and he is very, very active when it comes to talking about social discrimination, especially caste-based discrimination. And all his art has to be seen in the background, in the framework of what the man is and what he has been fighting for all his life. Paresh Bhai, એવું એક પણ ગુજરાતી નાટક જ્યાંથી હું થિયેટર કરું છું, મેં કદાચ ન હોય કે તમારું નામ ને છેલભાઈનું નામ, તમારી પાર્ટનરશિપ જબરદસ્ત પાર્ટનરશિપ છે. ને એવું એક પણ નાટક નથી કે જે તમારો નામ નથી આવ્યું એ નાટકમાં, બેવનું નામ. તમે થોડી આ પાર્ટનરશિપની તમારી જે છેલભાઈ સાથે હતી એના બદલ થોડી વાત કરશો?
પાર્ટનરશિપ જેવું તો કઈ હતું જ નથી. વી વર જસ્ટ ફ્રેન્ડ્સ. જ્યારે વનેક પ્લે ભારતીય વિદ્યાભવનમાં થતા હતા ત્યારે કાંતિ મળિયા જોડે પ્લે કરતો હતો, હું જેજે સ્કૂલ ઓફ આર્ટમાં. અને એક વખત અમે લોકોએ નક્કી કર્યું, મને પ્લેનો ડિઝાઇનિંગનો શોખ હતો. હું આઈએનટીમાં બપોર જઈને કામ કરતો હતો, એ પોતાનું ફ્રીલાન્સ કરતો હતો. એટલે એક વખત અમે લોકોએ નક્કી કર્યું કે આપણે પણ સાથે કામ કરીએ. તો એટલે પ્રબોધ જોશી એણે અમને સાથે કર્યા. એમાં બેઝિકલી હની છાનો પણ હાથ હતો. હની છા વોઝ ફ્રોમ રંગભૂમિ. એટલે એ લોકો એ રીતે એમ કે આ બંને સાથે કામ કરે. એટલે તે વખતે અહીંયા મહારાષ્ટ્રમાં ગુજરાતી કોમ્પિટિશનો પણ થતા હતા ફૂલ એન્ડ પ્લેના. તો એ ફૂલ એન્ડ પ્લેમાં એક પ્લે ગયો, એની અંદર અમે લોકોએ નામ આપ્યું તો કે શું, તો કે છેલ પરેશ. અને ત્યારથી અમે લોકો સાથે કામ કરવા માંડ્યા. હવે તે વખતે તો બેક સ્ટેજમાં અમ લોકોને 5 રૂપિયા 10 રૂપિયા પૈસા મળતા હતા. હવે એ તો 5-10 રૂપિયા તો પ્લે છૂટે એટલે પછી પાર્ટીમાં. અને ધીમે ધીમે એમ સે વી બીકેમ એ પ્રોફેશનલ. એટલે આ રીતે દોસ્તી યારી થઈ.
બરોબર. કેટલા વર્ષો તમે સાથે કામ કર્યું?
મોર દેન 40 or 50 years.
ને તમારી એવી કોઈ મોમેન્ટ હતી કે તમારું કોઈ દિવસ અનબન થાય કે તમે ડિસએગ્રીમેન્ટ થાય?
ડિસએગ્રીમેન્ટ થાય, પણ મારા સ્વભાવ પ્રમાણે હું કોઈ દિવસ સામેની એ વખતે નહોતું બોલતો. બાજુમાં લઈ જઈને કહેતો હતો, અથવા હું 3-4 મહિના એની સાથે વાત નહીં કરું. કામ કરીએ પણ વાત નહીં કરવાની.
ઓકે. Pareshbhai spoke about the issue of money, that how they would earn just 5 rupees and 10 rupees, and even in Sitaram Mama's biography you have that when he started he was earning 15 rupees. Sambhaji Bhagat came from very, very difficult and harsh circumstances. And I think it is also important to keep that context in mind, that we talk about struggle in the theatre. Struggle was then and struggle is now, but also of how that struggle needed to be overcome to be able to do what you wanted to do. And you have this generation of artists who continue to do theatre in spite of the struggles, in spite of where they were coming from.
Theatre means struggle.
That's right. Yeah. True.
Till now, we are getting about more than 500 rupees per show as a royalty now. But then also, sometimes the producers, they don't have the money. अगले टाइम ले जाना ना, वो अगला टाइम कभी आता नहीं. नाटक चालला तर बरं आहे, नाही चाललं तर हा. म्हणजे त्याचं म्हणणं असं असतं की नाटक आता काय करू, काय नको पुढचं नाटकाला. It's a struggling, still struggling.
The struggle goes on. તમે જે સ્કૂલ ઓફ આર્ટ ના સ્ટુડન્ટ છો ને મંદિરા તમારા માટે જે એમને પ્રેઝન્ટેશન તૈયાર કર્યું છે એમાં she has mentioned that you were influenced of what was going on when you were a student in the JJ School of Art.
See, basically I was a professor in JJ School of Art.
Okay.
And I always loved the nature. From the nature you get lots of things. The observation for any, even for the actor also you must have an observation. And my observation was general. So I try to bring everything on the stage according to the nature. See, we always first discuss about the theatre. नाटक पहला तो वांचे એટલે એની લોકેશન ખબર પડે કે whether it's a middle class person, it's an engineer, is an artist, is an actor or something like that. So then we start thinking about the designing. Category or something status is what. and then go on playing with the medium. We have played and say the designs, colors, is nature. Then the what is the climax, and in climax I'm saying how the lighting is going to be there. And so the people I'm say in Bombay, there are so many I'm say something like that. That lal, pilo, wadali, red, yellow, and blue. Only 3 or 4 colors they are using on the stage. See, if you bring certain colors, see when I put the yellow over there, they put the pink color or yellow paper. The color of the shade is changed. That they don't know. That is to be studied. And we had a discussion and they change the color sometimes. नहीं तो जाने दो.
Right. સૌથી સારામાં સારું તમારા કરિયરમાં કયું નાટક રહ્યું છે જે તમે ડિઝાઇન કર્યું છે ત્યાં?
હમણાં છેલ્લું જે હેલો પાકિસ્તાન, which was on the revolving stage. Within a second we were અમે લોકો પાકિસ્તાની બોર્ડર માંથી ઇન્ડિયન બોર્ડર લાવતા હતા. એ અશ્રુચિ झाली ફૂલો પણ શીખ ગુજરાતીમાં થયું તો આ તમને ઓરિજિનલમાં રાખમાં એટલે તો ઘણા યાદ રહેતા બી નથી.
700 પ્લે ઉપર મંદિરાના પ્રેઝન્ટેશનમાં એવું તમે બોલ્યા છો કે થયા છે.
According to the stage designer and all, we have brought so many things on the stage, just like a musical programs. કોઈનું ઉઠમણું હોય તો એ પણ અમે ડિઝાઇન કરી આપતા. એટલે સ્ટેજ ઇઝ અવર એવરીથિંગ.
ને તમે જે ટેકનિક્સની વાત કરો છો, ડબલ રિવોલ્વિંગ સ્ટેજ, સર્ક્યુલર સ્ટેજ, જેટ નાઇફ સ્ટેજ, એ મારા માટે પણ બધા નવા ટર્મ્સ છે. જેટ નાઇફ એ શું છે?
જેટ નાઇફ તો શું છે કે એક પોઈન્ટથી આમ સરકીને આવે અને પાછું અંદર ચાલી જાય.
અચ્છા.
સ્લાઇડિંગ આખું અંદર આવે.
હા.
અને રિવોલ્વિંગ
આપણે વધારે ફેમિલિયર છીએ.
બે રિવોલ્વિંગ, એક સિંગલ રિવોલ્વિંગ. એક અમારો કાર્પેન્ટર હતો રાજારામ ચૌહાણ, નાટ્ય સંપદામાં. He was a master in that. એટલે અમુક ટેકનિક શીખીએ, શીખાવે.
હા, આઈ થિંક એમના બદલ અશોક રાનડે જે હતા એનસીપીએમાં ફેક્ટ્સ એન્ડ ન્યૂઝ કરીને એક ન્યૂઝલેટર એડિટ કરતા હતા, એમના બદલ લખ્યું છે. રાઈટ. सीताराम मामा, 40 वर्ष झाले तुम्हाला आविष्कार बरोबर. असं काय आम्हाला सांगू शकता की अशी काय स्पेशल मेमरी आहे तुमची आविष्कार बरोबर?
आविष्कार बद्दल अशी मेमरी सांगायची म्हणल्यानंतर खूप काळाकाळाशी जावं लागेल. वडाच्या जेवढ्या प्रारंभी जसं फुटतात तशी आविष्कारची ही संस्था आहे. त्याचे पाले मुळे लंडन, अमेरिका वगैरे असं सगळं जगभर पसरलेले आहे. आविष्कार मध्ये येतात, वर्ष 2 वर्ष झालं की 5 वर्षामध्ये तो नट होतो. आविष्कार मध्ये जो मुलगा येतो नवीन, 5-1 वर्ष तिथं राहतो. 5 वर्षानंतर तो आपला काम बघतो. मग त्याला ते बोलवतातच. त्याच्या अंगात तेवढे गुण उतरतात, तो शिकतो, तो बाहेर पोटा पाण्याला लागतो वगैरे असं. आणि आविष्कार मध्ये मी टिकण्याचं कारण म्हणजे एकमेव माणसं सांभाळणारी तिथं जी माणसं मॅनेजमेंट आहे ती खूप चांगली आहे. आणि त्यांच्यामुळं ती माणसं तिथं टिकतात. माझ्यासारखं तिथं बॅकस्टेज म्हणून तिथं एवढे वर्ष काम करतो त्यांच्या बरोबर. कुठल्याही प्रकारे मला दुखवलं नाही त्यांनी, काय नाही आतापर्यंत. असं नाही पैसे मिळाले नाही का, असं नाही, पैसे मिळायचे मला. एखाद्या प्रयोगाला नाही बुकिंग झालं तर उद्या परवा वगैरे आपण काकडे काका तिथं आहेत ना, तोपर्यंत आपल्याला पैसे मिळतात. 4 दिवसांनी का होईना ते पैसे आपल्याला मिळणार हे आम्हाला माहिती असतं. म्हणून तिथं टिकल्या गेलो एवढे वर्ष. त्यांची खूप मोठी पाल्यामुळे खूपच अत्यंत अशी म्हणजे त्यांच्याकडून एवढे नट नटिया वगैरे असे भरपूर तयार होऊन गेलेले आहेत. त्यामुळे ते लोक भेटले की मग आनंदाने बोलतात वगैरे. आता व्यवस्थित कसा आहेस वगैरे एवढं म्हटलं तरी खूप झालं माझ्यासाठी.
आणि तुम्ही काही ग्रीन रूमचे रूल्स पण सेट केले आहे की नटांना आपले कपडे इस्त्री करून घेऊन यायचे.
आता हल्ली काय आहे, बॅकस्टेजला माणूस मिळत नाहीये कुणीच. हे बाहेर बॅकस्टेज करायचं का आतमध्ये इस्त्री करायची का काय करायचं, मग सगळ्यांना सांगायचं आम्ही. काकांनी वगैरे असं काय सांगितलेलं नाही, पण मीच सांगितलं ते. एक टेबल नेऊन द्यायचा, तिथं लावायची, इस्त्री लावून द्यायची, कपड्याची पेटी उघडून ठेवायची, तुमची कपडे शोधा, तिथं आतमध्ये टेबल इस्त्री लावलेला आहे, तो तिथं इस्त्री करायची, तुमची तुम्ही परत घडी घालून शनी व्यवस्थित पेटीतच टाकायची, असं सांगितलेलं. आता हल्ली 1-2 वर्ष आता आमच्याकडे असंच चाललेलं आहे. आम्ही कुणी इस्त्री दुसरा कोण करत नाही, काय नाही, इस्त्रीवाला आम्ही बंद करून टाकलं. कारण आता हल्ली पैसे देणं एवढं महाग झालंय की बॅकस्टेज वर्करला आता 550 रुपये, नवीन माणूस आला तरी त्याला 550 रुपये द्यावा लागतं, अशी परिस्थिती आहे. त्यामुळे मग ते न ऐकतात. आमच्याकडे सगळे प्रायोगिक वाले असतात, त्यामुळे शिकायला येतात किंवा शिकलेले असले तरी ते करतात, पण ते म्हणत नाही की तुम्हाला इस्त्री करून दे वगैरे असे. ते स्वतः करतात, त्यांचे ते घेतात.
आणि तुम्ही तुमच्या प्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये हा पण म्हणलाय की रोहिणी हट्टंगडी तुमची फेवरेट ऍक्ट्रेस आहे.
हो.
त्यांच्याबद्दल काय तुम्ही सांगा.
त्यांच्याबद्दल मी 75 सालापासून त्यांच्याबद्दल आहे. 75 सालापासून त्यांची सांगुना नावाचं नाटक आलं होतं. त्यावेळेला मोठा सेट होता, भयंकर वगैरे. त्यावेळेला अशी एवढी आमची ओळख नव्हती, पण नंतर त्यांनी एक संस्था काढली, 1996 मध्ये संस्था काढली, कलाश्रय म्हणून. त्यांनी अपराजिता नावाचं नाटक केलं. अपराजिता नावाचं नाटक केलं, ते बोलले कोण करणार आता हे, बोलले मामाच करेल. मामा इकडे तिकडे दोन्ही पण करेल होते. जयदेव सरांनी सांगितलं मला, त्याच्यावर आम्ही जायचो वगैरे, मग दौरे बिवरे पार त्यांचं फार डेहराडून वगैरे सगळं करून. म्हणतात ना, बुगडी माझी सांडली ग, ती कुठे येते, त्या साईडला आम्ही जाऊन आलो, तिथपर्यंत प्रयोग केले ह्यांचे अपराजिताचे वगैरे. नंतर जगदंबा काढलं, जगदंबाचे भरपूर प्रयोग केले त्यांचे. त्यामुळं आपुलकी वाढते, त्यामुळं एकत्र होतं असं वाटतं ना. आमचं कुटुंब एक कुटुंब असल्यासारखं वाटतं आम्हाला. सगळे आविष्कार म्हणजे रोहिणी हट्टंगडी झालं, सुलभा देशपांडे झालं, प्रेमा साखरदंडे झालं, काकडे काका झालं, बाकीची येणारी नवीन मुलं आहेत ना, ती पण आमच्यामध्येच इन्व्हॉल्व होतात. त्यामुळं मग काही जाणवत नाही की आम्ही परके आहोत वगैरे असं. आणि असा कोण म्हणत नाही की हे सीताराम जाऊन चहा सांग दोन वगैरे असं कोण नाही बोलत आतापर्यंत तरी. की तो त्याला चहा प्यायचं, तो जाऊन सांगतो, येतो, त्यातलाच आम्ही अर्धा कप पितो परत, अशी कंडिशन
तुमची आहे. मी आली आविष्कारला, काकडे काका मला पहिला चान्स. काकडे काका, आविष्कार इज अ फॅमिली. Many people have been part of this journey for long years. Sitaram Mama has been around for 40 years.
Yeah, he's integral part of Avishkar Parivar. Yes, integral part of the Avishkar for the last 42 years. It's in 216, so it is 42 years he has been with us. So Avishkar is a big Parivar. We call it Parivar. Yes. Now, look at the present condition, present situation, where we have 8 plays running. There are 8 plays running, and 2 will be coming up this year also. We stage about 10 to 12 performances in a month, and about 125, more than 100 performances in a year. Not in Mumbai, but all over Maharashtra, that we travel all the way. We schedule the performances. This is today's situation. But it's a long journey. For me, it is more than 64 years journey, not small journey. हा नाट्य प्रवास आहे, हे नाट्य प्रवास आहे, व 6 दशक के बाद ज़्यादा है. It's more than 6, I mean, what you call 64 years. It's going on. People come, stay, they go. Another batch come, stay, they go. This is a flowing. This is all the time flowing, flowing, flowing. It has never stopped.
How many people are there right now? How many new people have joined?
No, what we have done, we have a nucleus. Nucleus of those who belong to group. Because we have a constitution, we have a trust. So that is limited. We don't want to make it a parliament. Because it so happens when there are differences and your institution breaks. This is the history. So those who are with us from the very beginning and those who want to work with us eye to eye, they are with us. But then we have all the year workshops conducted, different workshops conducted, dance workshops conducted for children, then other workshops conducted for youngsters. This goes on. And when we select the people from those, we find they're better. And they give them experience. We give them a confidence. Confidence that they can fly. And then the sky is the limit for them. Now, how many artists, technicians, playwrights, there are many playwrights, but the artists, we find they are all origin with Avishkar. That's what Avishkar is doing all these years.
Right. Sitaram Mama is a man of many, many things.
Yes.
What is the one special quality you think he possesses?
Honesty.
Satya.
Yes. And his commitment.
Yes, one can see that. It is very evident. He's saying that he would continue to be here with you, and
yes.
whether he gets paid, he doesn't get paid, it's immaterial.
Yes.
Okay, I would like, some hope, Sitaram Mama.
मी आविष्कारमध्ये आलो त्यावेळेला एकदम ढ होतो. काही मला येत नव्हतं, साधं सामान सुद्धा उचलायला येत नव्हतं वगैरे. नंतर तो शिकत 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 असा गेलो की आता 1 नंबरचा मिस्त्री झालेलो. काम करत नाही ती गोष्ट वेगळी, पण 1 नंबरचा मिस्त्री मी आहे. नंतर बराच खूप काकडे काकांच्यामुळे हे सगळं मी शिकलो. तिथं माझं व्यसन सुटलं. मी दारू प्यायचो अगोदर. नंतर बायकोला दिवस गेल्यानंतर मी ते सगळं बंद केलं वगैरे. मच्छी मटण वगैरे सगळं बंद केलं. म्हणून आपण आता निर्मळ राहायचं वगैरे. आणि काकडे काकांना असं दररोज माणूस आला तर तो पिलेला आहे बघ रे असं ते सांगायचे. तिथूनच ते बसलेले जागेवरून ते सांगायचे की तो पिलेला आहे म्हणून. मग त्यामुळे ते माझं सगळे व्यसन सुटत गेली. मी असं शिकत गेलो. या लोकांच्यात वावरल्यामुळे मला एक ही वाटलं, चांगलं वाटलं की मी आता कधीही मी खोटं बोलत नाही. काय असेल ते सत्य असं सांगून टाकतो वगैरे. असं कधी अडचण येत नाही मला. मी 2 तास 10 मिनिटं अगोदर येतो, हे मी पाळतो. त्याच्या पलीकडे मी काय सांगू शकत नाही.
I was going to ask if there were any questions, but there's a point that Sitaram Mama spoke about, which is about being a carpenter. When it comes to setting up the set, building the set. And I was speaking to Paresh Bhai earlier before the program, and he was telling me that today a lot of young people don't want to go in for set design. They want to go in for light design. It's okay, to set up 4 or 5 lights, but it's far more difficult to do sets. And it is that essential quality about working with your hands, having your toolkit, and building that set.
Basically, it's a very hardship.
Yes.
You have to work for day and night to complete the set.
Yes.
You have to complete the set. You have to work for day and night. माणसं काम करत नाही. त्यांचं पाठी लागायला लागते. दारू पिऊन कुठेतरी झोपलेले असतात. आणि आपला वेळ म्हणजे 3:30ला आपला शेवटच्या कर्टन उघडायला पाहिजे म्हणजे पाहिजे. हा एक कमिटमेंट असतो. पण ते त्या लोकांना समजत नाही. त्यातलं काही जी जुनी माणसं होती त्यांना माहिती होती किंवा नवीन प्रयोग आहे.
माझी पद्धत अशी आहे, नाटकाच्या पूर्वी 2 तास मी तिथं हजर असतो. हे अजूनपर्यंत कायम आहे. बिफोर द स्टार्ट ऑफ द प्ले and there 2 hours before and there and after the play I leave after everyone left. सगळे गेल्यानंतर मी जातो आणि सगळ्याच्या आधी येतो. ही शिस्त आता राहिलेली नाही.
आता काय झालं की
देयर इज नो डिसिप्लिन नाऊ.
प्रत्येकानं ऍक्टर व्हायचं आहे. म्हणजे काय की आम्ही लोक आम्हाला बॅकस्टेज मध्ये काय म्हणतात पछात वर्ग पाठीमागचे, कारण का आम्हाला कोण ओळखत नाही. आम्ही खेळ हातोडीवाले माणसं. तर गंमत काय होते की आता 8-8 दिवस ते GR करतात, ग्रांड रिहर्सल करतात आणि तरी शेवटी काय ना काहीतरी राहते. पण आम्ही ठरवलंय की आम्ही 2 दिवस अगोदर तुम्हाला कम्प्लीट सेट करून देऊ. ते बेसिकली ऍक्टरना पण ती मुवमेंट्स काढायला पाहिजे नाटकातली, की त्याचा दरवाजा कुठे, कुठून तो उतरणार आहे, कुठून तो चढणार आहे, तिथे त्याला पायरी कमी पडते किंवा जागा कमी पडते. ही सगळी आपली पहिली गोष्ट आहे. तर आता एकच ठरवलंय, प्रोड्युसरना आम्ही सांगतो की आम्हाला 1 दिवस अख्खा दिवस सेटिंगला दे काम करायला आणि मग तुम्ही तुमच्या रिहर्सल करा. त्यातनं तुमची काय कमी जास्त आहे ते आम्ही सांगू.
करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट.
पण आता काय ते सेटिंग मध्ये कोण यायला बघत नाहीये. ते डोकं फोडी पुष्कळ आहे. एक तर पैसे काढायचे, प्रोड्युसरकडनं पैसे घेऊन तुम्हाला जे डिझाईन पाहिजे ते कम्प्लीट करायची. आता सगळ्या प्रोड्युसरना असं पाहिजे पैसे त्यांना पाहिजे, टेक्निशियन हे नको. सेटिंग कम्प्लीट झाल्याशिवाय लाइटिंग कसं करणार. आता मी जसं सांगितलं की मी पिंक कलर लावला आणि त्यांनी ब्लू टाकलं म्हणजे माझा तर कलर गेला.
Do we have any questions for Sitaram Mama, for Paresh Bhai, for Kakade Kaka? Any questions on our chat? This is supposed to be live. I don't know if we have any viewers online at this point. But the nice thing about eNatyaChaupal is that this recording will be available later, and the whole concept is that people are able to watch this program online from the convenience of their home. Before I end, I would ask one more time, any more questions? Because I'd like to say something about the projects. Yes. No questions? Okay. All right. Thank you, Jehan. I don't know if he's here. Has he left? Preeti, thank you for your help. Ramu, thank you for helping us put all this together. And I would encourage the students of the drama school to continue to be researchers. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. Eventually, I think that's such an undervalued role, and it's so important just to research and to find out.
There are so many like us.
Yes.
So there are so many other technicians are there.
Right. Yes. Yes.
You can take their advice also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Many people to be profiled. We have a small token of appreciation for Paresh Bhai and for Sitaram Mama. Ramu, Gitanjali, please come and so small token of appreciation from the Drama School Mumbai and from Mumbai Theatre Guide. That's all right, Paresh Bhai. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you for your time, for having made this effort. Yes.